Hey guys, so today I'd like to sort of discuss kind of the next stage of, Messi's dribbling process and how I've improved. So, you'll see this kind of like diagram that I've made. As you watch my channel, I say Messi generally has two moves: the body feint and the inside cut, where he cuts down the line with the inside of his left foot. Now he does have sometimes like a little bit of a different move, but I'd say there's more variations of the move. For example, the inside cut. Um, I think it's similar to kind of La Croqueta. A lot of times when I do the inside cut, sometimes like I just naturally do La Croqueta as I try to get my opposite foot touched on the ball. So if I'm quick enough and have enough ball control, sometimes it just becomes La Croqueta without intentionally trying before I start the move. So first of course is the body feint. So this is a typical body feint of Messi. So I find that the best body feint he does is when he takes the last touch with the outside of his boot, or the edge of his toes rather, and before extending that leg and dropping that shoulder and going the other way. Um, a lot of times he also sometimes doesn't even touch the ball, especially when he's going a bit faster or the defender's too close, so he doesn't have time to touch the ball. But all in all, this is the typical best move. Also is the inside cut. And this is the inside cut Messi does where he goes down the line. Yeah, so just to reiterate, he tends to hop from his left foot to right foot with his inside foot being in line with the ball. And as he jumps with the right, that inside or the of his left boot jumps at the same time, so he's not just planting his foot and has this long swing. So it's a very short swing that goes together with his right foot as his leg is pointed down the line. Then he can go before the defender can react. And this is because Messi has his hips like pointed towards the defender until he's already gone, and it's too late, and the defender can't react. And the, now, the most efficient way to get past a defender and then the next defender to the next is just to take one touch. So ideally, you do your typical feint, and then you move past one defender, or and then you either do another feint or an inside cut to go through the second. So unlike a lot of other players, you don't want to do like 8, 9 moves just to get around a player. So it's really efficient just to take just one touch and move past the first defender, so it doesn't give the other defenders a chance to catch up. And also, yeah, it doesn't allow the defender to um, have more time to position themselves and try to get a hang of what you're doing. And also a third move is what I called like the transitions, which is again I think slight variations of the feint inside cut. So, which I'll get in a bit. So this is something like when a defender catches on and they understand your tendencies. Um, so when you first get into a match, especially if they've never seen you play, or this is my experience at least after I've practiced my messy feints and my inside cuts very well. After a few times I can easily beat them, the first few times I can easily beat them, but after a few times they kind of catch on. So they really jockey a lot more rather than lunge in. So they're prepared to cover either flank. So sometimes I'm forced to do one or even two more moves before I take the final inside cut or feint to cleanly move around the defender. So we'll watch just like a video of Messi dribbling, and it's kind of funny, before it kind of looked like just a flurry of moves of him, like throwing his body around and cutting in and out. But now that I've kind of like got his basic moves down and playing and seeing the defender's reaction, I kind of understand more of his intentions. So I really want to just show like I think I've more or less like got more of a hang of what Messi's intentions are, and maybe I can bring you into like kind of like the world of Messi and do a play-by-play analysis. And of course, it'll help my further dribbles as I try these transitions. So a lot of times when people like understand how I play, they really want to make sure I don't go past them. So I gotta like kind of vary it up a bit because actually I would say more than half of Messi's moves, he doesn't just it's not a typical fate, just a one touch and he's cleanly around. Everyone knows Messi, best player in the world. Um, Messi has to, kind of like sometimes take a first preemptive touch, even if it's just a slight touch. So sometimes it's not a complete feint of what his typical feint is. So I like to call it like a transition move.
Here's Messi. Round two as if they weren't there. Round the third.
Okay, so let's break this down. So first, just sets up and sees the first defender. Okay, nothing too much here. It's really just reading, his body position and all that, seeing if he's going to leave any big gaps. Sometimes I find a defender, if they, especially like just a defender nearby, they might be prone to opening a gap because they think their defender can, their teammate can help cover that area. So that's what I get the sense now. Have a look. You see that like it's kind of like bent over there, and I have a feeling he's prepared to maybe go down this side. So he's just testing the waters to see if he's gonna lunge in early. So in that case, he can maybe just cancel out feint and go to the other side. So yep, and the space is on, so he can just just a simple inside cut after he's tested the waters. So yeah, that's something I find I do naturally after learning Messi's feints and inside cuts. Okay, now just a little control. You see this is how it kind of like almost extends like slightly to the side here. Now this isn't like the biggest feint ever. So say we're going one-on-one with a defender, and he's pretty well positioned. Generally, this isn't going to beat him if he's quite decent. But what I see here is just kind of like a transition move. So even though it's not as good of a feint, because typically what you want is kind of hop onto the ball and really extend that leg. Here it's kind of bent and kind of behind. But it kind of helps transition to the next move because the defender to the left, which you might not see, is he might kind of slightly adjust his body to go in that direction. So let's see what Messi's next touch or move would be like. See, so that little like sorry, that little feint there. I think that's enough, just to help him do that inside cut there, to help him go around him, because you see there he's already like decided to go over to the side there, and he's doing it quite quick, so it's a little tricky. So with the Messi feints, sometimes especially if you're going fast and there's not much space, just doing a little one here, especially with a huge gap there, that might just be enough just to transition over to the next move, which is the inside cut. Okay, let's see how he runs. Just takes another touch. I think there's too much there. Yep, don't see too much there. Doesn't really feint or do any moves or test waters. Okay, so he kind of sees this defender running here, so I think he's trying to take a touch before he gets too close. Just body shielding. Not too much there, I think. I think this guy was just a bit more out of position because he didn't expect him to beat the first two guys, so I don't think there's too much. Okay, so here we see, eventually he does like another inside cut to go past them. So there's one other thing. So the first one thing is, he's doing it pretty fast, and this defender's kind of watching him. So as soon as he gets beat, the inside cut happens here, and so a little bit of luck in the timing and space. So, and I think Messi sees that gap. So I find a lot of times, when you beat one guy, the second defender, he might not expect it to. So sometimes you can, not really do a transition move. You can immediately do your next move. So for me, typically what happens, I feint, go around the first defender, and then do an inside cut to the second defender. And especially if you control the ball and do it with the edge of your feet, it's pretty quick and well under control. So it's a really fast combo without having to do a transition move. See, it's kind of like an La Croqueta, but I think naturally when you have a close control, you just want to take the first touch to guide the ball. So, before I would have just said, oh, La Croqueta, but, after doing some moves, you kind of get, understand the mindset of Messi. So, there, just a touch to guide it down the line. And let's see. This guy's being pretty aggressive, so see that kind of feint there. It's not the best feint in the world, especially because he's running fast. There's not much space, but you see how Messi bends down like that, and that leg is not extended. So it's not the best feint of Messi, but it could be just enough. Either just to beat the defender, or at least use this as a transition move for the next one. So let's see what he does next. Okay, so the typical move would be, to kind of like go over here, I would say, but who knows, maybe this defender is in the way. Instead, he just kind of nudges it out in front of him. So I don't know, maybe when he does the body feint this way, he goes here, but I don't know, he sees those legs opening up, so maybe he was trying to go in between the legs, or I don't know if he sees a gap. I think, is this the part where he loses it? Oop. Yeah, I think this is the part where he loses the ball anyway, so yeah, just gives you the mindset of Messi. Okay, so let's watch it from this angle. So Messi's run, and he sees this guy come over. So just a little feint here. See, as soon as he kind of extends the leg there. Again, he's doing it pretty fast. Doesn't have to be the most perfect feint with the leg extended and shoulder dropped very well and upright body position. But with that speed here, because he's not navigating through these tight space, he's just trying to avoid this defender, just to create a little bit of space so he can move, because he has all this space to maneuver. So as soon as he kind of extends the leg and does this shoulder drop, you see that defender was coming in, and then it almost looks like he's about to back off because he thinks Messi might go in this direction. And that gives him just enough time to avoid him by a few feet. That's all he needs just to get into this space here. And then let's have a look. Okay, so this is kind of a preemptive move. So a lot of times I kind of do this naturally. So you see how his inside foot is coming back? It kind of almost looks like it's curving like that. It's a little subtle, but I don't know, just naturally done this based on having defenders defend against me and understanding that inside cut Messi does. So typically he'll dribble with the outside of his foot, or with the edge of his toes, but it kind of looks like he's going more to the inside. So at this point, it almost like he seems like he might hit it this way, and then knowing Messi, I know he would kind of hop with that right foot and go onto his left and really bend that leg and go over to the side. So, defenders, I mean, they know Messi. They understand, his cuts, his feints. So sure, sometimes you have to look at the defender to see where he's standing and understand the defender's tendencies and where he's moving. So if he is already moving this way, it might be a good idea to pretend like you're gonna cut to the inside, or at least do a small inside cut as a transition move. So let's see what he does. See, he just touches the ground. He doesn't actually hit the ball, and then again, another slight feint. So this feint in itself, I think it's quite decent. Like it's almost pretty extended. That body's upright. Actually, yeah, I think that's a decent feint based on the typical Messi feint. So that's enough for him just to go this way. Then he goes over to the side. Now, had he not done this let's say transition move, like kind of like the inside cut, or this mini inside cuts, the defender might have like gotten to this ball because this this feint might not be enough, or at the very least he would have just pushed Messi more like to the side so he couldn't go directly to the goal. So it's those little like transition moves, those subtle moves that really help sell the next real move, as I might call it.
Alçant els possibles ànims de l'Atlètic de Madrid d'intentar l'empat.
S'acaben i mira l'Òscar el que està fent Leo Messi, mira el que fa Messi, mira el que fa Messi, el troba ser!
Okay, so this is actually kind of like a similar move. I kind of pulled out by fluke, or rather, I was just reacting to the defender, and I did it, and I beat him, and I thought to myself after, like, oh, this is actually similar to this kind of dribble that Messi did, and when I first started analyzing, like almost a year ago, I didn't understand exactly why Messi dribbled like this, because you see, first, see what he does. He kind of does it like inside cut and kind of beats him there. And then he does takes a second touch. So you kind of see what Messi does here. So typically, what I've been saying how Messi inside cuts, does that hop from the left foot to right foot and just goes down immediately. But you see what he kind of does here. He kind of like does a body feint there, and then you expect him, like you see how the defender's tilted to the right. A lot of times when the defender's really like jockeying and marking you hard and concentrating, they kind of like they're prepared for that feint. So he does that feint, and then when he goes to the he's about to touch the ball. He's thinking, okay, I'm going to prepare to go over there when he cuts inside. But Messi actually, when he like plants his left foot, kind of like the ball's here, and his left foot's like perpendicular to the ball, in line to where he wants to go. He kind of drops that opposite shoulder as well. So I find a lot of times when he does the inside cut, and actually naturally, I've been doing that too. Not really like leaning this way as I do the inside cut, kind of like stabbing my foot in and maybe slightly dropping that shoulder to kind of almost tell I'm going to go this way before doing the aforementioned inside cut. So defender's already gone this way, and then it goes over to the side. Now this is kind of like a good tell. So you see over here, Messi could have like instantly gone there and just ran directly, but you kind of see Messi take a touch to the side. So originally I wondered why he did that. I thought, oh, maybe Messi's so good he would just go off, but this is like top flight football, so like the defenders are still decent, and Messi can't just do like one of two moves every time. He has to do slight variations and transitions. So it's that body feint, then second shoulder drop as he plants that foot, then the inside cut, and he goes over to the side to test the waters because this is safe. To go over here, it's a bit more safer. So say the defender, he doesn't, he's really like marking him hard. Some defenders, sometimes they're trying to be aggressive. They really want to get the ball early to score a couple of goals. It might be easier just to do one move and get past them, but Messi understands this defender. He's like really marking him hard, so he goes over to the side just in case defender doesn't fall over to the side, and then he sees the space, and then he can go forward and attack the space.